So I enjoy movies because they paint the imagination of the martial artist, and they put it out there for you to be able to maybe map and look at what happens real time. Now we have MMA, as we're talking about, UFC, we have all these things, and we have people fighting at real speed. Blows are landing at real speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Real
this
individuals,
is different
real lives.
than theatrical wrestling.
But we also have slow motion replay. So we can go back and see what happened, right?
Treasure that moment.
We can play that back like film, like on like football teams watch film.
Yeah.
Good fighters watch film on, especially at the top level. At the top level, they're watching fights of who they are going to go against.
So they're watching what leads up to the blow. They're not looking, like, I feel like the iconic picture
they're looking for tells.
from boxing is, the fist connects with the jaw, the head turns, and the sweat sprays.
Absolutely.
And that's sort of like the classic, here's what boxing is pictured. But you're describing, I think, practitioners who are looking at the film in slow motion to figure out what comes before that moment to figure out how to counter it or to how to defend.
Yeah, or to neutralize the thing. Right? So if you've got a fighter who's, got really good hands, you're probably not going to stand there and have a slugfest with him.
Right.
Because if he's got good hands, he's probably going to knock you out.
Right.
Right? Or if you've got someone who's got really good legs, you're probably not going to want to stay on the outside too long because he's going to pick you apart with his legs. You get someone who's really good on the ground, like a black belt jiu-jitsu, like an Nate Diaz or something like that. Probably want to keep him on his feet.
Right.
You're probably not going to want to tussle with him on the ground, but you're only going to know these things if you probably have a good coach and a good team and they've been watching who you're about to go up against. So, I like the sophistication of, you maybe wouldn't use that word most, but I think the sport, fighting as a sport, is way more sophisticated nowadays than it was. And I think the evolution of it is really good too, because in the early days you didn't get paid anything.
Right.
You went in there with great courage, or just, like I said, ignorance or arrogance, whatever it was that got you in the ring.
Yeah.
But extreme bravado to get in there and really test out the waters by pinning yourself against another individual, hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
That takes guts, and nowadays it's a little bit. It's better. You
It's
can
more defined, maybe.
Yeah, you can earn a living doing it. You can pick up some valuable skills. I mean, who doesn't want the martial arts experience? Maybe I'm biased because I was 4 years old when I started, but and I'm just a baby in the world of jiu-jitsu, but I love the martial arts lifestyle. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it. This is why I do it 6 to 7 days a week.
What is the lifestyle? Meaning just the practice every day?
Yeah, Miyamoto Musashi in his book said, seek nothing outside yourself. So everything is there already, right? He also mentioned in his book of 5 Rings that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So as a martial artist, in the way that, I practice my kick is the same way that I clean the mats. The way I clean the mats is the same way I prep my tea at home, with great attention and focus and presence, and making sure that, it's done right the first time, as opposed to just sort of willy-nilly, frivolously, placing myself in whatever position to do whatever I'm doing at the time.
And I feel like starting your practice at age 4 has made it such a formative element of how you come to be who you are. And all of what you described in the last 40 seconds is what is so easy to admire. For me, the part of this conversation that I find baffling is squaring the compassion with which you address your students and with which you lead your classes, and with which you give out life skills bracelets that honor qualities like perseverance and so forth, that are really teaching these kids how to be good people, with taking such delight in the brutality of a sport that I have difficulty seeing past the brutality of.
Yeah.
Right? And when you say, okay, well, I practice my kick in the same way that I make my tea, I 100% get that, because coming from a yoga background, the connection, the mind-body connection with the breath is life-changing, right? It literally changes the way you experience day-to-day walking around in life, which I don't have any difficulty imagining to be possible with a martial art as your practice. It's just when I see these commercials of these guys wailing on each other, I have such difficulty finding the value in that. Although I also enjoy a movie where they're wailing on each other, because there's a hero and there's a villain, and you obviously are rooting for the one over the other, and the actual elements of the fight are gripping, right? Are spectacular to watch. But when it's real people just wailing on each other, and I know some of them are just going back to wail on their girlfriend back in their trailer, which unfairly characterizes probably a lot of people. So I stop myself, from characterizing that way. But do you see the contrast that I'm describing
Yeah.
of the compassion you lead your classes with the what you can't help but see when these guys are in the ring and are fighting no holds barred?
Yeah. Well,
How does that live in you? That contradiction.
in the year 2026, when I didn't have to go pick this matcha or find it, grind it fine down and mix it with a bamboo
stuff.
utensil and make it all nice and stuff like that. I just went on my phone and I ordered it and I walked over, picked it up and brought it back, and here we are sitting and having tea. You know, everything is a
There go the
that's-
mother freaking lights.
speaking
That's
of-
a reference to something else.
Speaking of, these are light or energy
timer?
efficient lights on a timer.
If we were moving more, would that not have turned off?
You want me to run it? It'll turn back.
Yeah. Wow.
Oy.
Your magic.
So
I observe also, I don't know if it was in frame, but every time you come on or off the mat, you have a little bow,
yes,
which obviously speaks to a deep reverence for the practice.
yes.
I'm trying to figure out how you are both compassionate and revel in blood sport.
Yes. Ultimately, martial arts has the ability to be brutal, has the ability to maybe potentially cause irreversible damage in another person. I think as a good martial artist or just a good human being, you're not looking to do those things. Only have the ability to do those things if necessary, right? So if somebody approaches you out in the parking lot, let's say, hopefully not on this glorious negative 4-degree day.
Bad guys aren't out in.
No, they're
8-degree weather.
trying to stay warm in their trailers, beating up on. Well, maybe we're characterizing that wrong.
Did I go too far?
So no,
Is that a step too far?
no, I'm
It's
riding the
real, it
bandwagon.
exists.
It does, it does. Which is precisely why women should be learning self-defense as well. Let's say we walk outside, right? And here's an example, actually. So just yesterday, we went to breakfast, my wife and I. And my buddy contacts me. He's like, hey, you want to get breakfast? I'm like, we're about to leave and go get breakfast now. Join us. He's like, okay. So he comes, we go, we have Union Cafe right on Union Street. We're eating breakfast. We come out, we're going to the car, and there's a gentleman who, you know,
Of perhaps ill intent.
perhaps, and he's, you know, I can hear him. He's already, hey, you know, he's trying to flag me down. And I already saw him on the way out of the restaurant. I don't know him, right?
There's no
it's
advantage
cold
to
out.
engage with him.
There's nothing that says I need to engage with this individual, and he's still advancing and coming forward. So I open the door, make sure, you know, Mrs. D gets in the car. I close. My buddy's got me by like 80 pounds. He was a lineman. You know, no one's gonna reach for him.
You got
know?
two sturdy guys confronting one wild card.
Yep. So this wild card keeps coming up, and I, you know, I held my hand out as I was coming out, and there was space, so I wasn't like giving him anything to take. I said, no, thank you. I said, God bless, and I continued to walk around the car. And he's like, hey man, why you do that to me? Hey, can I just ask you? Can I, you know? He's just like trying to talk with me and stuff like that. But you know, I already gave him the greetings and salutations, gave him the honor of being a human being, and I went on my way. Now
That's the end of that.
that was the end.
encounter. Okay.
That was the absolute end of that encounter. But let's say it went a little bit differently. Let's say now he is advancing quicker, and maybe I didn't have enough time to round the car
And has assessed you as a mark that it will be profitable for him to continue pursuing.
Potentially.
Which I think is a
Yes.
miscalculation, but
it may be a miscalculation. Then, well, now has he broken my personal bubble? Is he in my space? Are his hands on me? What would that look like? Because if he did come close enough to me, put his hands on me, the likelihood of me dropping him would be high. And not that I would ever want to do that to somebody, because if I hurt somebody, I'm going to get in trouble.
right.
If I throw him to the ground, right, just maybe a standard throw or a foot sweep, or maybe I don't have hands on him, but I can tell he's trying to advance, and I kick his knee out and it bends backwards, or any number of things could happen.
You've got tools.
Correct. Now the police may be called. What happened? Witnesses. So and so hurt so and so when they were advancing, and now all of a sudden, you know, the space that I come to every single day to teach kids, I cannot, because now I'm locked up
Right.
behind bars because I used something that I shouldn't have.